Have you ever felt that despite all your efforts, something is holding you back? Maybe it's the old habits, the familiar comfort zones, or the voice inside that tells you to try again later. It's not that you aren't capable, it's that you've been operating on outdated beliefs about yourself. Life is demanding you to evolve, yet you keep hitting the "remind me tomorrow" button. The time has come for an upgrade, for a new version of yourself that breaks free from old routines. It's time to step up, face your fears, and embrace the power of sacrifice. In the pursuit of success and fulfillment, sacrifice is the key that opens doors. Whether it's about progressing in your career, improving your relationships, or achieving your health goals, sacrifices must be made. Are you ready to take that step? Ready to let go of comfort to make the changes needed to thrive? If you're here, reading this, something inside you is looking for a breakthrough. Let's take this journey of transformation together. The journey ahead is not for the faint of heart. It will require you to dig deep, confront parts of yourself that you may not even realize are holding you back, and make sacrifices that will feel uncomfortable. But discomfort is a sign of growth. It means you're stepping beyond what is easy and familiar and reaching for something greater. Imagine where you could be in 6 months, a year, or 5 years if you chose to sacrifice the things that keep you stagnant today. This isn't just about achieving success, it's about transformation. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be, but never allowed yourself to become. You have the power to change the trajectory of your life, and it all starts with the willingness to sacrifice the old for the new. The reason you may feel frustrated, angry, or stagnant is because you are functioning on an old version of yourself. It's like running a software that is no longer compatible with the demands of today. Life is telling you it's time for an upgrade, and you can't keep ignoring the notifications. It's time to snap out of it and become someone better. You need to sacrifice the person you used to be, because that version of you won't get you where you want to go. Sacrifice is the price you pay to enter the next phase of your life. It's what gives you a seat at the table of success. College isn't high school, and the real world isn't college. Each new stage demands a new version of you. You can't keep showing up as the old you. The key to growth is learning to sacrifice, whether it's your time, your comforts, or your old habits. To achieve your goals, sacrifices are necessary. It might mean sacrificing sleep to wake up early, sacrificing leisure to focus on learning, or sacrificing comfort to take on challenges. The time you spend directly reflects your priorities, and if you want to see a significant change, you need to commit beyond the temporary, beyond the 30-day challenges. This is a lifelong pursuit. Growth is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process that requires ongoing sacrifices. Think of it like climbing a mountain. At each stage, you have to let go of more weight, old beliefs, old habits, old comforts, to keep climbing higher. The air becomes thinner, the climb becomes steeper, but the view from the top becomes more rewarding. Sacrifice is the fuel that powers this ascent. It's the uncomfortable choices that bring you closer to your goals. Whether it's waking up an hour earlier to work on your side hustle, skipping social gatherings to focus on your studies, or choosing discipline over momentary pleasure, these sacrifices accumulate into something extraordinary. Comfort and success do not go hand in hand. If you want to evolve, you need to be honest about your fears. Are you afraid of pursuing your dreams, afraid of change, afraid of rejection? Admitting that fear is the first step to overcoming it. Today can be the day you tell yourself, "I am not afraid anymore." Fear keeps you stagnant. It's time to break through that fear and push towards your destiny, even if it means sacrificing comfort, friends, or even parts of yourself that no longer serve your growth. The comfort zone is a seductive place. It's easy to stay there because it feels safe, but nothing grows in the comfort zone. The longer you stay there, the more stagnant you become. Growth requires that you challenge yourself, that you take risks, and that you push yourself beyond what is familiar. It means putting yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable, whether that's speaking up in meetings, taking on new responsibilities at work, or pursuing a goal that feels daunting. You have to be willing to embrace discomfort, because it's in those moments of discomfort that true growth happens. Understand this: The future you dream of is expensive. Everyone has something they want to do, a version of themselves they envision, but not everyone is willing to pay the price. Most people fall short of their goals because they aren't willing to sacrifice enough. The cost of success demands that you let go of certain habits and comforts. One of the most crucial things you must sacrifice is your time. If you truly want something, you must be willing to wake up when others are still asleep, to work when others are at rest. The idea of a 24-hour day sounds simple, but managing those hours wisely makes all the difference. You can't binge-watch shows, scroll through social media endlessly, or waste your time and expect different results. Success requires deliberate sacrifice. Time is the most valuable resource you have. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. Successful people understand that every minute counts, and they treat their time as the precious resource it is. They wake up early, they work late, they use their time to learn, to grow, and to move towards their goals. This doesn't mean you can't rest or enjoy yourself, but it does mean that your priorities need to be in alignment with your goals. If you want success, you have to be willing to sacrifice time spent on activities that don't bring you closer to that success. Another sacrifice is your comfort. Success requires you to leave the cozy confines of what's familiar. You may have financial goals, health aspirations, or career ambitions, but if you keep prioritizing comfort, you will never achieve them. It's time to make yourself uncomfortable, to do the things you've been avoiding, and to push through the resistance. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It lulls you into a false sense of security, making you believe that things are okay as they are. But deep down, you know that comfort is holding you back. To achieve greatness, you have to be willing to leave the comfort behind. This means putting yourself in situations where you might fail, where you might look foolish, where you might face rejection. But it's in those moments of discomfort that you learn, grow, and ultimately succeed. We all carry the weight of past versions of ourselves. As we move into new seasons of life, it's essential to shed these outdated versions. The wins of 5 years ago, or the achievements from high school, should no longer define you. It's time to look in the mirror and say goodbye to that old version. The next 3 to 6 months are an opportunity to make yourself proud, to evolve into someone even better. The past versions of yourself may have served you well at one point, but they are no longer enough to carry you to where you want to go. You have to be willing to let go of those old identities, to shed the skin of who you used to be, and to embrace the unknown. This means letting go of the things that once brought you comfort and security, and stepping into a new version of yourself, one that is capable of achieving the things you dream of. It's not easy, and it's often painful, but it's necessary for growth. Fear and ego are other barriers to success. Fear often disguises itself as logic or overthinking, making you believe you're being cautious when in fact, you're simply scared. But what do you really fear? Starting something or never starting and missing out on your potential? To step into your destined greatness, you must confront your fear. The fear of failure, the fear of looking foolish, the fear of not being enough, all of it has to go. Be willing to look ridiculous if it means fulfilling your destiny. Ego is just as dangerous as fear. It tells you that you don't need to change, that you're already good enough, that you don't need to make sacrifices. But ego is a liar. It keeps you stuck in old patterns, preventing you from growing and evolving. To achieve greatness, you have to let go of your ego. You have to be willing to admit that you don't know everything, that you need to learn, that you need to grow. You have to be willing to sacrifice your pride for the sake of your dreams. Another thing you need to sacrifice is your vices. It could be anything. Junk food if you're trying to get fit, or unnecessary spending if you want to be financially stable. Social media, entertainment, or other distractions can also become obstacles when they consume too much of your energy and focus. Remember, social media is a great servant, but a terrible master. If these things possess you, you must be willing to let them go, to surrender what's holding you back. Sacrifice is about making choices that are aligned with the future you want. If you want extraordinary results, you can't make ordinary sacrifices. There are levels to this. It's not just about the small, everyday sacrifices, but also about the deeper, more significant ones. Sacrifices that push you out of your comfort zone and transform you. Vices and distractions are often coping mechanisms. They make us feel better in the moment, but they hold us back in the long run. If you want to achieve your goals, you have to be willing to sacrifice these things. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy yourself or have fun, but it does mean that you need to be mindful of how you're spending your time and energy. If your vices are getting in the way of your goals, it's time to let them go. If you genuinely want to manifest your dreams and experience a higher quality of life, you must be willing to make sacrifices. Sometimes it's about letting go of the things you love, even people who no longer add value to your journey. These individuals may be comfortable, familiar, and even loving, but if they don't serve your vision, it's time to move forward without them. The version of yourself that exists now cannot carry you to the next season of your life. You have to let go of who you are to become who you're meant to be. This requires intention, courage, and most importantly, sacrifice. Sacrifice is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the price you pay for progress. It's not easy, and it often feels like you're giving up something valuable. But the truth is, you're not losing anything. You're trading something of lesser value for something far greater. You're trading temporary comfort for long-term fulfillment, trading the old version of yourself for a new, improved version. The path to success is paved with sacrifice, sacrificing time, comfort, fear, ego, and distractions. The journey requires a constant shedding of old habits and old versions of yourself, and the courage to embrace the unknown. But what I've learned, and what I hope you will too, is that every sacrifice you make brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself.